Hello and welcome to the Design Essentials. In this video, we are going to create, or we're going to design the overview for our projects. So let's dive into it. So we're going to do the same thing as we did last time. We're going to dive into our pages segment. We're going to dive into creating a new page. But this time I thought, you know what, why not see if the templates have anything of use for us, because we are going to be creating some pages, and why not use what is already there? Reusability will speed us up and it's nice and easy. So let's do that. So I'm looking at all these pages. We got some dashboards, some CRUD, some overviews, some account stuff. Well, the things I'm basically looking for is, well, something along the lines of an overview. I want to view all my projects while being able to navigate to their detail pages. So let me have a look at the overview pages. We have overview page that has a card view and the list view. Well, that's quite neat. We have just an overview page that only shows the cards. We have a list view. And then we have an overview page with inline. So if you click on it, it opens up the different kind of views. I think that might be a little too much for what I would like, but I quite like the card view. Just simply the card view. I don't want anything, not the multiple things, not like the list view and the card view, not inline details. I'm going for the card view. So I'm going to press use, and then I'm going to call this the project overview page. There we go. But the page path, I do want to change quite a little bit. I want it to be projectmanagement.betty.app/project instead of project overview. I would like to keep my URL as short and recognizable as possible. So /project, nice and easy. I don't want to use /projects, because if I want to put anything behind my URL in the future, like create, etc., then projects/create, it just seems a little less appealing to me. So I'm keeping it /project. Also going to keep the authentication on this page, and then I'm going to create this page. So let's have a look. We have a nice top menu. We have a nice footer. These are provided for us by the application template. So I'm going to press next. And this is where a little bit of trickiness comes into play, because we are asked to determine what we want to show on these project cards. As it says, preview. This is what each grid item will look like on the canvas. Well, the canvas is the page that we're going to design. At this moment, it's going to be designed for us. But we still need to think of, well, what project data do we want to show? And normally we would go into this in our data model segment, but Betty can help us already determine some of that stuff when creating a page like this. So we are going to already add some model information in here. A model is the object, one of the main objects you want to use in your application. In this case, we are going to be creating a new model. So press the select model button and create a new model. This is going to be the project model. And here you can add a bunch of properties all together. Well, I don't want to do that right here. I'm just going to create the project model, press save, and then I'm going to select the project model. And then multiple things are being asked from us. An image property, a title property, a subheader property, and a description property. So we need to think of what are the things we want to show here on each project card. Well, an image can still be an image, a title can be a title. What kind of subheader do we want to show, and what kind of description do we want to show? So let's add those items one by one. So properties are items that describe a project. Properties will always, the model will always have certain properties, the created at, the updated at, and an ID. Every project needs to be unique for our database, so BettyBlocks already helps you out with some properties. And we don't use these for our data regularly. It's just nice to have these. And in case you do want to see the created at or the updated at data, they are available. But we are looking for an image property. So let's quickly add a property. what kind of type is an image? Well, it's not necessarily a text single line. Well, and luckily there is a whole list of types that we can pick from. What would an image be? Well, click on the drop down and there is an image type and we're going to call that image. All these properties and their types will go into a little bit more detail when we are working on our model. But for now, the only thing we want to do is, okay, what does this page ask from us? And see if we can provide it and or if it works with our use case, if it works with our project page. I would like a project to have an image, so I'm going to add the image. Add property, edit, and now I can select it. So, and I think that, well, the rest I can just add in one go. Title property, select, new property, a title. Well, I'm just going to check what kind of types I have. Numbers, phone numbers, prices, URLs, multi-lines, single lines. I feel like a title should be neat and clean, a little short, preferably, so at least within a single line. So I'm going to use the text single line type. I'm going to call this the title. The other item that I saw that was a bunch of text was the description. What would the description of a project be? Well, I want to use the text multi-line type for this. Description. The reason I'm using text multi-line is because my description is not a date, it's not a file, it's not a multi-file or number, it is text in multi-line, and therefore I'm picking this as my description. Last thing I want to show is the subheader. Imagine you have a page in front of you, I'm just quickly going to add these, and you have all these cards on your page. So you have a title, a description, an image. What is some other important information that you would like to show about your project when you are giving users a quick overview? Well, this is where you need to think, okay, what is all information that I'm going to collect on my projects? It's going to be your start date, your end date, your project lead, etc. A thing that I always really like to have with my project management application is a status. What is the status of your project? Is it in to-do? Is it in progress? Is it done? Because I am less eager to click on a project once it's done. But if I see a project that is still on to-do or maybe in progress, then I feel the urge to click on it because can I contribute to rounding it up? So, well, let's think about what the status could be. First, select the title, then select the description, and for our subheader, which I said was going to be the status, I'm going to create a new property called status, and for this we are going to use a list property. List property basically allows us to have a drop-down with all kinds of statuses that we can choose from. I'm going to dive into the items and the options later, but let's go. A status, select. So now we have a project, a URL, an image, a title, a status, and a description that will show on our canvas. Press save. And instead of having to design our page widget by widget, component per component, the entire page is designed for us. A nice top menu header, an overview, and all the cards that we have still yet to fill in, but we can see them. They're there. Let's make sure that we also change our top menu so that it shows a logo that we have, for example, and that it also allows us to navigate to those items that we have. Well, we can do that by clicking on the top menu, and as you can see, this one has a green line around it. Well, what does a green line mean? A green line means that this is a partial. A partial means, well, basically it is a component with settings that you can reuse on every page, and you only have to change it within the partial editor, and then on all the pages that you use this partial, it will change along. So let's click on the top menu, edit the partial, and set a new logo. Let's see, I'm going to remove the source. I'm going to press image, click on logo, and then I'm going to add a new file. Let's see, Betty White. That's the other Betty White. Betty White, there we go. Betty White, that's the white Betty Blocks logo. Select, and now it has a nice logo. On the other side, we have some buttons. Menu 1, menu 2. Well, I already know what my main items are that I want to navigate to. That will be projects and tasks. And I'm going to duplicate this button. And the last one I'm going to call companies. There we go. Let's click on the app bar. Let's make sure that once a user presses the logo, they are navigated to the homepage. Select. We already have a button ready for, we have a page ready for the project. So when you click on projects, you can go to the project overview. And later on, when we have a page ready for tasks, we can connect a page to our button, and the same goes for companies. Once we have a page ready for companies, we can connect the pages together. Now we're done with editing our partial. We can go back, we can press the back arrow, and our partial changes. And now every time we use this top menu partial in our application, it looks exactly like the one we have over here. We have our overview, which to me looks quite nice already. We don't need to make a lot of changes right now. Let's have a look at what this looks like when it's live. And we can do that by pressing the play button. It's called the compile button. You compile your page. You basically turn it into a neat little package and you send it to the internet for everyone to test. And then, well, it opens up in a new page. Sometimes, at least in my case, depending on your browser, you need to press the compile button once or twice more. I do use some, what are they called again? Extensions, that's what they were called. I use some extensions in my browser. So I want to make sure that I press that play button a few times and then my page opens up. So as you can see, my page opens up. I can work with this application, but we don't have any projects yet. And let's see if we can navigate to our homepage already. Oh, we cannot. Well, let me just leave you with some information. You need to compile every page. So let me go back to the homepage before it is accessible. So let's also make a little change to our project card. We can go to the project page. So let's click on the project card, select, make sure that this navigates to the project overview. Project overview. Let's make sure that we change that while we are at it. Press play, press compile. And once our new homepage opens up, we have our homepage. We can click on project overview and that takes us to another page. So this allows us to basically show two pages already and they are connected to each other. You possibly have created a page map alongside with me, a journey from your homepage. You want to go to your project page. You want to go to a create project page, maybe to other pages. Feel free to make some of those pages. What I would like to do is dive into our model, our data segment, because we have a fair idea of what the design of our application is going to look like. From here, I want to make sure that our data is neatly structured. And then after, we can actually start diving into the CRUD side of things. CRUD means create, read, update, and delete, because we want to create some actual projects in our application. So, see you in the next chapter, the data model chapter. And before going there are some assignments. I was talking about some tasks and some company pages. We are going to work on the task and the project pages together, but I would like to leave the design and the functionality of the company pages and the company functionality of the project management application to you. So check out the assignments and see you at the next chapter.